Fast Signs have been supplying signs to companies and organisations in Leeds and West Yorkshire since 1995. From vehicle graphics, event banners and directional signs to shop fronts, internal wall graphics, they help companies make a statement and stand out. They have a great team who can help with the design, production and installation of your signs. Check them out at fastsigns.com/Leeds or call into their office on York Road on the outskirts of the city centre. And also make sure you mention the Lot Pod. Hi everyone, welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17-8 podcast, kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. It's match review panel time, Salford versus Leeds. Eddie here with producer Chris and Phil. Phil, first review of the season for you. How are you, first of all?
I'm all right, I'm good, thank you.
Always good to have you on.
Always a pleasure to come along and nice to be reviewing a win.
A win, better than last week.
This early start of the season.
Yeah. And how are you, producer Chris?
Really good, really
better
good.
Than last week, right?
Yeah, well, I'm lucky I got here in time because I've only just got out at Salford car park.
You have, yeah, you've been waiting in there for 17 hours, but you are free. I've got the score here as Salford 6, Leeds 32, is that correct?
Yeah.
It is? Yeah. Wow. So there you go, because there's always someone who keeps saying
we never say the score, do we?
Ever say the score.
That's usually because we've lost.
Yeah, you weren't that far wrong, were you?
No, I won.
No, I won. Did I say
38?
38, 6. So
and
people say I talk a load of you know what, but there's times.
Well, stop clock and all
when,
that.
Yeah, stop clock when I actually do get it right. So we're going to review the game. We're going to give our Matt Frawley Fast Signs player of the match, and then we're going to preview the Castleford game. So in true Lot Pod fashion, gentlemen, we'll start with the positives. I've got at least 4 here. I had 3 last week.
Really?
And we got beat. Phil, what positives have you got from this one, my friend?
Obviously the win.
Yep.
On the road. I think we had to... just a bit of composure really as well, didn't we? I mean, it was a bit of... up against it a little bit with injuries and players going off, so, you know, having to move around and then still to put a good performance in there.
Yeah, Crofty going off, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean... yeah, positives. Obviously, Lumb came in, didn't he? He did a great job on that wing there. Jake Connor, obviously, he stood up, didn't he?
Awesome.
I thought he was a really good attacking threat.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think just in a little bit of adversity, what we had, just to put a good performance like that together and come away with a win and like I said, go in that right direction. But a few players stood out, yeah. But yeah, they're my positives. So the win on the road, the players standing up and bit of battle through adversity.
Producer Chris?
There's quite a lot. I don't know how many I've got. But,
19.
Same as last week, Morgan Gannon.
Again.
Outstanding.
Just unbelievable.
And all that practice under Owen Smith in the halves paid off.
Here's a half, is it more than half?
Yeah. Riley looks like he's taking it with both hands, doesn't he? So there's that. The win. I think it was like I went to the game with a bit of like, I don't know whether I'm looking forward to this or not. And then when they scored,
instantly,
yeah,
I'm like,
a really good try.
I'm like,
it was. He did it twice last year though. Callum Watkins, didn't he? Ran that same line.
He needs to stop that. It's supposed to be a lead.
A bit of a poor read from Bentley, but I think the biggest positive for me is I think that's the first Brad Arthur performance.
You feel that way, yeah?
Yeah, because we were patient, weren't we?
Yeah.
Never went away from game plan. We had all them injuries. They didn't let that early try bother them.
No.
To me, that was what Brad Arthur wants us to play like. We looked fit, looked even by end. So I think that is how he wants us to play.
Winning all the time.
Yeah, and to be honest, if it hadn't been... it was a bit windy, I think, and Jake missed a few kicks, didn't he? It should have been 40. We battered him.
Yeah.
We just played really good sort of patient rugby.
We did. I think the whole podcast is actually a positive this week.
How do you mean? There's no negative.
There's no negative.
You're not got our injury list
apart from
on
the
there.
injuries, but we'll of course come to that. But I think there's only one place that we can start, and it's around something that we said last week on last week's podcast, because me, you and Duncan, we all agreed that even though there was absolutely no reason Riley Lumb should be dropped, all 3 of us said Clark Wood should play.
Well, we're idiots, aren't we?
Riley Lumb has just come out and
Maybe listen to it.
Smashed it and said, "I'm going to prove those."
It might have been the driving factor.
I'm kind of thinking it is.
Yeah. I think he listens.
Need to pick a new player this week.
So I think we need to. We apologise to you, Riley, because you were absolutely awesome. I mean, you mentioned it in your positives. He was amazing. Has he? I'm going to jump ahead here. Has he made himself? Because as I said, we said on last week's pod, he didn't do anything wrong in the Wakefield game, but we just felt that Clark Wood was going to come in. But has Riley Lumb now made himself undroppable?
I think he has really. I mean, not looking too much into the future with next week's opponents. You know, it's Castleford. They haven't had the best start of and like I said, I don't think Riley Lumb did anything wrong. He did his job. Amazing. He held his chalk. He finished his tries. He defended well.
Yeah, and that's a tough assignment.
It is a tough assignment. When you've
got Masters and McDonald.
Yeah, I mean, they did target him a little bit, and I think if there were one thing where we could sort of like tighten up a bit is that left edge, because they moved Ash into the centre, aren't they? Yeah. And even though he's like an experienced rugby player, he's not positionally. He's never in that centre channel, and he's always been on wing, and Newman on the other side. I'd like to see maybe just swap them two just to toughen up a bit, because that were the only way where Salford made a good few yards and a few breaks were down that side one. And I just think defensively, it might be, even though they are experienced players in their own right, I just think there might be a little bit of inexperience. Yeah, I think if we just toughen it up shore it up with Harry Newman, and then he's a running threat then, because he always steps back off his right foot now, doesn't he? Comes back inside. Yeah. But yeah, Riley, you've got to. He's earned his shirt, hasn't he? He's got his chance. He's took it. He's done his job, and then he's kind of like said to. Fred Arthur, yeah. He's kind of like gone, well,
Aussie man.
Yeah, it's over to you. It's over to you now, isn't it? Try and leave me out next week, but I don't think he can.
I think the only way.
I think he'll stick with it, because
absolutely.
Whilst I kind of agree with what you're saying, I think to split them up now, I think just let them.
Yeah, they've got to gel and develop it out there,
a bit, and I think.
I just think if there were one place where we looked a little bit sort of like weaker across that channel, I think that
you're not playing against Nenny MacDonald every week.
No.
I mean, he got some nice songs sang at him, but he's still a class player, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's brilliant.
He's a proven international.
It was a tough assignment for a young kid to be against.
Yeah, but he stuck to it, didn't he? He stuck to his job,
yeah, they did make a few breaks down there, but as fitness told. Because we scrambled back, didn't we? We were all, I think even Brad Arthur mentioned it, once we scrambled, we were all behind.
Yeah.
We were ready.
With it.
Yeah. But there weren't just one or two scrambling back, there were 4 or 5.
Yeah, exactly,
do you know what I mean? So, effort in numbers there.
Even Ryan Hall chased Nicarima and caught him down. Yeah. Nicarima's quick.
Yeah.
Maybe Salford were a bit rusty. Tough shit.
Well, that's it. Oh, no,
exactly.
Swore then.
Well, I did.
That's their fault.
Listen, them senior players at Salford have had an extra couple of weeks off, remember?
Yeah,
exactly. I think the only way Riley Lumb now, we better not say it again, but I think the only way Riley Lumb now gets out of this side is injury.
Yeah.
Because I think if he's playing, his form's
going to keep him in.
He's going to continue to play.
Arthur's the type of coach.
Could you imagine if they did drop him for no sort of like reason, there'd have to be what do you have to do as a player?
It'd be as bad as us last week.
But what do you have to do as a young player coming through? He had that injury of the year at Hull, didn't he? When he scored 2 tries on his debut there, didn't he?
Superstar,
Got injured, then come back in, and again, so he'd have to be somewhat majorly.
There is only one thing that could change that, but we'll get onto that in cast review.
Yes. But it looks like he's just the next one off this conveyor belt from the academy. Ed Gilgannon, Lumb, Sinfield, Little Tom is just the next one in line. That looks like. But we sort of said it with Alfie last year, who probably would have played this year for injured. But Riley's just the next one.
Riley's a better winger than Alfie.
That's it. Yeah.
Alfie's
a fullback, right?
Yeah.
So he's Alfie really. Yeah. But he's a better winger, isn't he? I think he's got.
He seems more natural to it, I think.
Someone compared him to Zach Hardacre.
Well, he's got some tattoos.
I kind of see that on the field. I kind of see that. I loved his take. I think it was Nenny MacDonald who were after him, and he kind of caught it low and then just.
And then he went quite a few minutes
and made some really impressive meters.
I think it's. He just seems quite mature, doesn't it, for a young kid that's come through.
And it's something that I always say, but looks like a Super League player already.
The thing was, everything he did well, didn't he? You know, like you said, he did that, and then he just did his job. Didn't try to overplay. Didn't try to, do anything untoward. He just did what he had to do and did it well.
Yeah, scored 2 tries.
He's surprisingly strong, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's slight, isn't he? He's
you
only
think
slight.
he's going to get knocked back, and
I think that's where the Hardaker similarity
possibly,
came from. Because when Zach, he had a really slim frame, but seemed to.
He does look dangerous. Like I said, when he goes forward, he does generally make an half break every time. He gets through that. He gets through that first line of defence.
He's going to score a belter of a try at some point this year.
Yeah. Sunday afternoon. Nice dry conditions.
He won't just get one. He'll get 4 or 5. And someone else we spoke about last week, Jake Connor. I thought he was absolutely fantastic yesterday.
Yeah, and he was better when he had to move into the halves. His kicking game was better.
Great kick through for Riley's try.
Yeah, he just
beauty.
He's just a classy player, isn't he? Yeah. I just don't think he's a fullback. He's too slow for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, he does it all right, doesn't he? But he
perfectly well.
He's got to. Well, he's going to get a run in halves anyway, whether it's 1-2 games, isn't he? So that pass for Hall's try was a beauty.
Just down it.
I think the thing, and I don't tend to agree with Sky pundits sometimes, apart from Barry and Terry. Yeah. Friends of the pod. But I think somebody said that the opposition don't know what he's going to do.
No. Because he threatened to kick it quite a few times, as he always does.
Yeah.
Which is why
but they stand off him, don't they, the defence? And like you said, when he came into halves, he made our attacking threat war. They stood back off him, because I know he was shaping to kick and that, but like I think it was Riley's second try on that left hand side where they put some good hands through. Yeah. And like I said, he straightened up, and then
they thought he was going to kick,
you know, so that he bought himself loads of time and created loads of space. But miles better attacking threat from half-back position for miles better.
But the issue is, we know he can do it. Can he do it
on a cold night? Tuesday night still.
Can he continue to do it? Because he's played like that against us, hasn't he?
Yeah. Loads of times.
I think he has obviously really talented rugby player, isn't he, across numerous positions, like you said. But I think he's got to be pulling the strings, hasn't he? I think he likes to be there pulling the strings.
And I think Brad's perfect coach for him, because he said he's still got loads to do.
Yeah.
He's still not 100% happy with him, is he?
Yeah. No. So, it's good that we haven't seen any of his petulance, though, innit, or whatever. I know
we're looking forward to that.
I know it's early days, but the pantomime villain's gone, hasn't he?
And they tried to wind him up, and he's just laughed, hasn't he?
He's just upstood Jake Connor, the rugby player, which is good.
Well, he's in a team with Bentley, isn't he? So I suppose it's competition. So he's just thought, no, you have it.
you can be the pantomime. The pantomime
long may it continue if he still plays like that every week.
Something that really impressed me was when it didn't come off, but Brodie Croft got the ball. He kicked it through. Connor would come flying through, but got tripped by, I think it was Nicarima. Just to see those two already working on that kind
should have been Simbin for that.
I think so, I agree.
Yeah, he stepped across him, didn't he?
But I absolutely agree. Yeah, it should have been bin for that. But just to see them two already, it's only early days, but to see them not only working on these plays, but having the guts to attempt to try them. So we're only 2 games in here, but they're already saying, no, we are going to try these.
Yeah, and it's a shame that Croft got injured in where he did anyway, but they were just starting, when them two were in halves, just starting to, we picked him apart, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that could have been an interesting second half if they'd have stayed that way, but Frawley played well in second half anyway, so with one hand, didn't he? So
one hand and a thing missing.
It's a bit of a conundrum, isn't it? What do we do? Because once Miller's back, he's going to drop back into full back. Where does Jake Connor go? To me, he goes into halves, or on the bench and bring him on.
It's like now, if he plays there and he makes that shirt his own, it's that competition for places again, isn't it? It's up to people to, when they're selected in that position, put the performances in and make that shirt.
It's exactly what you said with Riley.
Make that shirt their own, isn't it?
He's made it his own.
As a player, you want to get selected and make yourself undroppable, don't you?
Yeah, and if Connor does that now, he might do it. It could be a case of he will play it halves. We'll come to it later, but because Brodie's out. But it might be a case of Brodie comes back and Frawley. Frawley goes to bench.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't mind that, because I think Frawley can play 9 as well.
I think he played a bit of that raid.
You know, and if Jared goes to loose.
Jared's missed the versatility, though, in that pack. He'll play anywhere, won't he?
It's been a fair few years since we've had the versatility, and even though we've got a few injuries, that you don't feel, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look across the squad, don't you, and you think, actually, all right, we've got a good few options, whereas before it was kind of like, well, they're injured, that's it, with nobody else to come in, whereas now you've still got another 3, 4, and still got selection issues, I think.
It's quite refreshing, that, isn't it? Because
we've never been in that position before.
And a really, really good coach as well helps. Croft did go off with a head injury, which was very worrying, but Leeds have since confirmed that he is okay. Frawley then got a mastiff.
A bull mastiff.
Bull mastiff.
Looked like he'd been bit by a bull mastiff.
Yeah, his hand. Really nasty, wasn't it? Leaving us short in the halves. I think Gannon were in there. I think Jared were in there. And Connor were in there. Everyone filling in. But just on the Croft head injury, did you agree, Chris, that with the yellow, or did you think?
I didn't actually see. I mean, I was there, but I didn't see what happened because once Croft had gone down, I went to Lou and got a drink, and then I came back up, and everyone were going, "He should be sent off," and I'm like, I hadn't seen it, and they didn't show it again, so I watched it last night. I think yellow were right.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't think it was a red.
It wasn't, and it wasn't his shoulder that knocked him out.
It was like his arm. He is bad.
He hit his.
He clashed his heads. He clashed heads, didn't he?
So it was a bit of a dangerous tackle. He was falling. I don't think you can take the fact that Croft was sparked out and needed oxygen and a stretcher into it.
Can't you?
No,
because I don't think
it wasn't his shoulder that did that.
It was like a consequence of the tackle, wasn't it? I think.
The funny thing is, they gave Joe Shorrocks the man at match at ground. I'm like, what for?
It just agreed. It was a bit of karma, wasn't it, because of that? And like I agree with you, I think it was yellow. And to be honest, big rap to ref because he verbalised it well. He says there's mitigation there. He has made that, and I think yellow are right. He's come in and they have clashed heads.
And to be fair to Salford players, they didn't. They just took it, didn't they?
Yeah, of course they did.
Actually, even though there were a bit of banter between Salford fans and Leeds fans, they did a Brodie Croft chant when they were up floor, did Salford fans.
Did they?
And everyone
they did. Yeah, they mentioned that on game. But a little bit of karma though from Shorrocks. It's just then like when he came back on after it bin, when Handley scored, the ball ricocheted off him, didn't it, into his path when Newman ran across, and then he gave the pass at the half-back what Bentley intercepted, and that's how I like that.
That was the funniest intercept I've ever seen.
Nice little bit of karma there, you know.
It was a good interception, that though.
Can you call it an interception? He just sort of threw it at him, he bounced it up, and Bentley were like...
It was a great ball, that.
Bentley were like, shit, I've got to run now.
Like treading concrete, wasn't it?
It took him ages to get there, but he finished it. Anyway, have you got some stats for us?
Yeah.
Producer Chris?
There were quite a few players over 100 metres, actually.
Wow.
How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
The top meter maker, which actually surprised me, was Tom Holroyd.
Really? Yeah,
that 124. Thought he had a cracking game.
Another one.
Yeah, 124 metres. Keenan Palacia.
Beast of a game.
65 minutes straight.
Yeah,
I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
He ran his blood to water, didn't he? Tackled everything he did. 27 tackles, didn't miss one.
Really?
120 metres.
Yeah.
It's a good effort.
Hell of an effort.
Really good effort.
Because I don't know whether this is right or not, but when Sam Lasoni were warming up during game, he didn't look well to me.
Lasoni?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Looked like he'd... I might be putting 2 and 2 together, but when he were training, he were like... He didn't... You know, when you can tell somebody doesn't look right, and he was like... So I don't know, because he only played 15 minutes.
I think it might have been a bit of illness.
I think so, but that's me...
Putting 2 and 2 together.
Putting 2 and 2 together. So he had to do all them minutes. Who else we got? Harry Newman, 110 metres. I thought Harry were absolutely superb.
Yeah, I agree.
He did. He got through a lot of work yesterday. Yesterday, didn't he?
That kick for Andy's try were a belter.
Yeah, it was.
He's just strong, isn't he?
Yeah, he's strong, he's skillful, he's fast.
He's lost a bit of speed. I think there's a few times when you think a young Harry Newman would have gone.
Yeah.
But I think it's the injuries that play on his mind. I genuinely do. I've said it before.
I don't think
he has that
I'm no physio,
petrified.
I'm no sports scientist, but I don't know whether he's bulked up to
Compensate for it,
Yeah.
or whatever.
and changed his running style, but he's
think
just
he's
strong, isn't he?
If he's adapted his game to suit
I think so.
suit our players, and I think.
Well, it takes 4 or 5 men to get him
Yeah.
down, and he attracts people, didn't he? Like, nobody thought we were going to put that kick through.
No.
Um,
Not even
I
me.
don't even think Leeds players did at that point.
Not even Ash Hanley.
I don't know, because if you look, Ash Handley
Well,
points,
one on
doesn't
the
he,
run,
across
yeah,
the line,
yeah,
and
well,
he's
actually.
pointing to him to dink it through.
James Bentley, 114.
Wow.
50 of them were that run.
yeah.
And Riley Lumb, 115.
Really
Top
impressive.
tackler, which is quite low, was James McDonald with 30. Who I thought he had a great game. We didn't give him stick, did we? But we actually said he should be dropped last week.
I'm Bentley.
Yeah, by his standards,
Don't listen to us.
What do we know?
Don't listen to us.
He had Tim Laffey in his pocket.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
Tim Laffey is a dangerous player.
He really is.
They
And he
are
just
a
took care of him.
Swallowed him up.
And then he had that nice little catch on our try line when there were a kick through. I thought he played well, top tackler with only 30 though, so we didn't have to do a lot of tackles. Team stats. Now, as completion rate, this is all according to Super League website. Have a guess.
99.
Close.
Really? 100.
No,
Close.
90. 90-ish,
It
92.
was 105.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we've managed that.
Wow.
But that's a start, isn't it?
105.
That's it.
100, we did 5% over the 100%.
That is, they're giving over 100% out there. That is 110%.
Imagine Brad Arthur in tomorrow's meeting going through stats.
105%.
Yeah,
Wow.
well.
You can't give any more, boys. That's fair play.
Play the balls in opposition 20, which is something we've struggled with. Again,
9,210.
second match in a row, we've dominated that, so 32
Yeah.
to their 24. It had been opposite last year.
Yeah.
Missed tackles, we had 32 and they had 43, so I think a lot of them will have been Nenny MacDonald, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all round pretty good. I mean, the 105 is good.
We need to keep to that standard
Yeah.
for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
You've
they
set
showed
the benchmark now.
Yeah, they showed that we were dominant. They had more errors. You know, we had more field position. We made more meters. Post-contact meters were good.
Yeah, they were.
So yeah, again, positive on stats. We weren't that off with the stats last week, and it's funny that Brad Arthur said we weren't that bad last week. It were 10 minutes that we went
Like Duncan highlighted, he had just that 10-minute period.
just 10
where-
minutes.
Yeah.
And as Wakey showed against Hull KR, they're not mugs, are they?
Do you know what? They're a good team. They threw the ball around well. You know, I know we.
Didn't
we're
they
not
win
mugs,
back for playoffs?
Yeah.
I
Or
think-
just around that.
Yeah, just I
Yeah.
reckon.
They will
Not
surprise. They will surprise a lot of teams.
But I'm hoping that like that Wakey performance is the last we see of that.
An abnormality, I think so.
Yeah. But having looked at it again, we weren't that far off.
No.
So we sort of built into that second half last week, and it's carried on into
And got
this week.
better, yeah.
Yeah,
Way better.
really pleasing performance.
Yeah, I agree. Someone else who played really well, Morgan Gannon.
Yeah, he's
Didn't miss this week. He had about 17 men on his back and thought, nope, I'm scoring
Well,
this
actually-
one.
Only good
Bang.
12 metres out, wasn't
He
he?
was.
13.
Salford tackler came in on third or fourth man and pushed him towards the line.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Fair enough.
What are
Yeah.
you doing?
Just reach
But
over,
yeah, he wasn't
bang.
going to miss where he was like,
No way.
I'm scoring this one.
Yeah.
That wasn't an easy try to score.
No,
He was quite
absolutely.
far out, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Stepped a few and then
Came
he
back
had
in inside
three
and
tacklers on him.
he had a good
Just kept
distance
his
to
leg
go.
pumping and just went bang.
I just don't want to jinx it with him because we've seen how good he is when he were 17, haven't we? And we all thought this guy's a superstar, isn't he?
Yeah,
And he's bulked up a bit. He's just immense.
he's unbelievable.
I want him to stay injury free because he'll be in England squad.
yeah,
Tell you
Without
that
doubt.
now.
I'm
He's one of the best back rows in comp.
Or when he's playing, I'm just like Chris says that I'm just happy. It's just good to see him playing after
Yeah.
everything he's been through. It's just not only because we know he's awesome. He's got a great try, but I just feel just watching him play is almost enough for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like you said, he's always had that. He's always had that talent there, and he's always had that, future from when he was younger, bright future coming forward. And then the injuries have set him back. But even just like I said, from an health perspective, it's nice just seeing him healthy, back on pitch, doing something what he's good at. And like you said, he's beefed up a bit, finished his try well yesterday. But yeah, and he's immense in that back row. He's definitely not 6.
Well, he played all right when he came on at 6.
I know he might step in there, but for me, he's definitely not 6.
He's a back rower.
Yeah.
I think I could even see him at loose because he's got a lot
anywhere
of skill,
in that back row, like you said, he's
perfect for that position.
It's only his second game back after a year and a half out, if not more.
Maybe even longer.
And he's not missed a beat, has he? In fact, he looks better than he ever has. And I think
he looks more. He's bulked up a bit, and he looks more complete.
I think he's worked on his tackle technique a bit, so that he's not going in and knocking himself out.
And he's filled that gap on that left channel where Reece Martin's left.
Who? But yeah, it's such a pleasure to watch him. It
is a pleasure. Good word.
He's a natural rugby league player, isn't he? And I just hope he's. I think not the good thing, because it's not great, but it's not physical injuries, is it? So he's had concussion, and I think he could have come back last year, I think, and they've just said,
let's take the year. 2
Yeah.
years.
Well, they managed it well, didn't they? In fairness to the club, as soon as it was raised as a risk, they managed it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Do you think it's something that, because we're here now saying that he is awesome, and he is, but do you still think Morgan's at his age is someone that we should manage his minutes, or should we be looking at him to say, right, you just said there, Reece Martin's replacement?
No, I think they've still got to manage it, as they do with every player, haven't they? It's just he's fortunate that he's got time on his side, 'cause even though he lost last year not playing with the injury, and like you said, how it was managed by the club, but I think he has got time on his side. I still think to make his career last as long as we can and play him how we want him to play, I think we have still got to manage his minutes.
I think
definitely.
Brad said something in his presser about that, because everyone was going, I should be starting or whatever, which
you can't,
he said
you
he's
can't
still young, and
you can't have a polar opposite from where you hadn't played him because of his health, and then just throw him straight back in, and because you say he's fit now, we can do what we want. But I think that goes for all players, doesn't it? Really,
and I think he has got a little bit of versatility. He can play.
Yeah,
he's not a 6, but he could play loose or he could play proper.
Of course, of course he could. He could.
I think he'll keep him as a bench player.
Yeah.
I want him to start, but I think
like you said,
there's games he can start,
and that's what I'm saying. That they'll manage it. They'll know when he can start, and likewise swap him around if he's on bench one week or whatever. Like you said, the games he can start, put him in and manage him that way, so they're playing first bit rather than second part of game, etc.
He's such a nice kid as well, isn't he? You wouldn't think he's that tough, or he's quite mild mannered, isn't he? And but get him on a rugby pitch. Well, he's not aggressive as in.
He's just hard and fair, isn't he? He just seems to do his job. Like I said, hard and fair. And does it.
He goes through line nearly every time he carries it, and he can smack him as well.
Yeah. He'll smack you, but he'll shake your hand and buy you a meal.
So I just hope we can see a full year for him.
Yeah, injury free, full year, but like I said, manage his minutes in the right way, and that I think
through the year.
He'll benefit
it's like a new
from
signing
it.
For us, isn't it? And a pretty good one. Yeah. Same with Tommy Allroyd. Yeah. He looks primed, doesn't he, this year?
And it just bleeds into what Phil said about 5-10 minutes ago about the squad, about the depth, about what we have, where we're in a position where obviously Morgan's health comes first, but we say we'll manage his minutes, manage Holroyd's minutes, Tom Nicholson-Watton's in a place where, and for me, either of those, whoever steps in, like Phil said, I'm not like, oh no. No, it's like you were saying earlier. That's fine.
And you've got to remember that people we're talking about, they're still only young, really, aren't they, for forwards? Like Morgan Gannon, what is he, 21?
Yeah. If that, is he?
Might have just
20. That's something I always forget.
And
the youngsters.
Forwards don't
mature till 27, do they? Quite a number of years, isn't it? That?
Yeah. And Allroyd's still playing fairly young, isn't he? And he's had...
Particularly in terms of a prop.
But he looks a beast this year, does Allroyd.
He looks massive.
I think he's had a massive kick up arse, hasn't he?
Yeah. Probably,
is he off contract?
I think so.
There's a few in there.
I think so. I don't think he's in doubt of...
It depends, doesn't it? I mean, if he has an injury again, but his form at the moment is you know.
What did he get? 124.
124. And he wasn't on that.
No.
He wasn't like 65 minutes like Palacia. But it's a good mix of props, actually, isn't it? If Lasoni can play more minutes and, you know, he'll come into his own. But, yeah.
Cooper Jenkins, league debut for Leeds. How do you think Cooper went on? I thought similar to Palacia. Thought he had I'm going to say that all year, by the way.
Just call him KP.
KP nuts.
So KP played well. How do you think CJ went?
Yeah, no, it looked good, didn't he? I think it looked good. Again,
in a good position this year.
I've said he might surprise a few this year.
Yeah.
He's big, athletic, and it was
he's
his first
athletic.
game.
He's big. He's strong. He takes some stopping with ball. You know, again, I don't think he played as long as.
No,
KP
he didn't.
But again, you know, he's capable of doing them minutes, and I think we've got strength and depth in them forward positions this year.
Yeah, definitely. Somewhere where for years on this podcast,
we've never had it before. We've been asking for it, haven't we? I think this year, you know, we're blessed. We have got that. So, you know, hopefully,
if Mick had been out last year, we'd have been screwed, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
we'd have been playing with no
last
props
year
again.
and 23.
So it's like you want Mick to play, don't you? But
again, if you manage it right way, you get the best out of him week in, week out, don't you? Rather than flogging him to death week in, week out.
I'm really impressed with his defence yesterday.
Yeah, he's a solid defender.
I thought we were hitting hard.
I can remember I watched that one game that he played in that final and
for North.
Yeah, and I watched him really closely, and I can remember thinking, I think he's going to go all right. You know,
and he is going all right.
Yeah. We'll see, won't we? But yeah, he's defensively good. He whacks a few, doesn't he? So does KP.
KP and CJ with JC.
It's not that because I've got them all written down like that.
We'll just refer to people as initials. You know, people will go fucking nuts if we do that. Why are you calling him KP and JC?
Best buds.
Call him Nuts. KP
Nuts.
Oh, Nuts, yeah. Dry roasted. Call him dry roasted. Good old
KP.
Dry roasted. Jared, first game back, seemed to look pretty good. It always looks good to us anyways, best as the pod.
Yeah.
And by that I mean, like, it didn't look like it was his first game back from an injury, from a layoff.
I think with Jared, you know what you get, don't you? You get 100% effort every time.
Wherever he times, I'm like,
wherever he plays. And like I said, when he flies out like that, he generally does stick, but you've got to make him stick, especially if you're going to shoot out of that defensive line and potentially leave a gap. You've got to make it stick. But
got to get it.
I thought it was solid. I thought it was solid in everything he did.
We'll speak on him a little bit more later. Anything else on this before we do our man of the match?
No, I think we've covered
nothing.
Covered all that.
Well, we'll go on to our MFFPOTM. Then, whilst the player ratings have gone, we do want you guys to get involved. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please comment below who your fast signs, Matt Frawley, player of the matches, and then we'll see if you agree with our selections. Matt Frawley, fast signs, player of the match. Phil, who's yours?
Couple of contenders, weren't there? I think we've touched on most of them. But for me, it was between Jake Connor, so I thought he played really well and made us attacking.
Yeah, he did.
Make as attacking threat tick when he moved in, but just for coming back in, doing his job, finishing his tries. For me, he had a great game. Riley Lumb. Played obviously well above his maturity in his years, but I think everything he did really well. Did the basics well, finished his job when we got the opportunity to score them tries, and hopefully he carries it into next week. But Riley Lumb for me.
Season. Producer Chris, Matt Frawley, fast signs, player of the match from you.
I had 4. I had the same as Phil, and then KP.
Dry roasted. And who else?
Morgan Gannon.
And
I'm going with Morgan Gannon.
You're going with Gannon? So I've got the deciding vote.
I thought the game changed when he came on.
Again, similar to Wakey.
Yeah. And he scored that try.
Game changer.
I thought, I'm going with MG.
My man of the match is James McDonald. I'm only joking.
I tell you what, Matt Shaw gave him his player at match.
Did he?
Did he?
Yeah, I think so. He said he don't get as praise.
You don't notice him though, do you? No. You know, he's
But
like,
I think that's a compliment.
that's what I'm saying. He just gets on, does his job like a silent assassin, just going around and that's it. And he just,
Loads of
you know,
nicknames.
but you don't, like you said, you don't notice him, do you? Because he just does what he needs to.
No. I'm going to agree with Phil. Riley Lumb for me. I thought it was excellent. And I think that it's Riley's position for the rest of the year. I think the only thing that can stop you, Riley.
Well, we'll see. Is when they come to Castleford.
Yeah, 6 tries.
Tigers. The Tigers are in town.
Congratulations, Riley. You are the Matt Frawley Fast Signs player of the match. Do comment below if you're watching this on YouTube if you agree with us or if you've got another selection. Rhinos players only. We do not want any Salford players. Because we had some comments last week like, is your player of the match? I can't remember who it was last week. Ryan Hall. Is that just a lead? Yeah, this is a Leeds podcast, mate. You're either going to stand there and say, man of the match is Jake Truman.
I think there were some that were like, why are you talking about Leeds and not giving?
Yeah, it's very Leeds heavy on this Leeds podcast in this Leeds studio. Congratulations to you, Riley. We'll now preview the Castleford game. That Castleford Tigers next for the Rhinos at Headingley. Danny returns. This time as a head coach. He returned a few times as a player and smacked us on our asses. Thanks, Danny. Phil, do you think that could happen again? Could Danny?
No.
Excellent.
No. I'd be more worried if he were putting his shirt on.
Yeah, I was just going to say if he were playing.
Definitely. It'd definitely happen again.
But no, I mean, I'm watched a few games over the first couple of weekends, and I don't think Cass look at the races.
I don't even think Danny can save them.
No, it's a massive ask, but like I said, we've got to take full advantage of it, I think. And I think if we can continue as performance from this week, but I think, if we can put us, not saying even put a score on them, if that opportunity arises just by playing the same style of rugby what we did at Salford, that patient style, don't have to score off every play, but build that pressure, but then just take that chance when it comes. I think it'd be really clinical against them. But yeah, I can't see him upsetting us, even with Danny Maguire being involved.
No, I think they're a bit light in forwards, aren't they?
Yeah.
That young fullback looks...
Fletcher Rooney, looks a good player.
What's his name, sorry?
Fletcher Rooney.
Yes.
It's not Wayne Rooney. Jamie Rooney.
Who were a good player, weren't they? I think they'll struggle. I think they'll play some games like they did on opening weekend where...
They always get up for Leeds, don't they, Headingley Cass?
I don't think they've got... This might come back to bite us on the ass, right? But I think they're going to struggle this year. So, but they do pick themselves up for Leeds. I can't see what Danny can do.
No,
unless he puts a shirt on.
Yeah.
I just think if Leeds do what we have done in yesterday and continue on that. I think we'll have way too much for Castleford.
Yeah.
And hopefully should beat them convincingly.
Any squad changes for this one? Obviously, the two players that we know are missing from this game in Croft and Smith. So do we see Jared at 13? Phil, that's something you'd be happy with?
Yeah, maybe Jared at 13, like you said, even Morgan Gannon. If I know we're about managing his minutes, but again, we've got them options, haven't we?
Yeah.
Do we put? I think it'll be. We'll probably see Jake Connor in halves, won't we? With Brody and Frawley potentially out because I can't see him playing. Or if
he said he's going to be right.
Oh, did he?
I think so. Yeah. He said it's just some stitches.
Yeah. So into their Edgill at fullback, keep Riley on wing. But I think they're the big changes out there. But 13. There's still a few people who could go in there.
I can see. This is what I was talking about earlier. I could see and. This is possibly what I would do is put Riley at fullback, bring in ECW to give him a go against Cass.
Put Connor at 13.
No, Connor in halves.
Can't leave him. I
would put Jared
13
or Gannon at 13.
You can also go with another prop as well. Can chuck one in there.
Jared can play 80 minutes and so could Andy Ackers, can't he? So I think even Little Tom at 13, I think he's a better 13 than a prop, but we've got some options, haven't we? I don't know.
What I'm saying.
The 13,
just look at the conversation
the 13
we've got.
position, I'm not sure. I think KP can play 13.
Yeah.
I mean, how long is it like? They haven't said out about Cam Smith, have they, as yet?
No,
In
but
terms
I
of
don't
injury.
think it sounds good.
No.
All the noises I've heard, it's not like, we'll wait and see. Even Brad Arthur said, doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's going to be a bit of a long one.
Yeah, so that 13, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it actually matters who you name at 13, neither.
No.
In this day and age.
Have we got a Ledsky back?
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Mixed
So,
back.
So you could even put Cooper Jenkins at 13.
So I mean, you could chuck a prop in there.
could have another mobile prop.
13.
But I would look at Riley. It might be a bit harsh on Alfie, that, because he's understudy fullback, isn't he? But I want to see this new wing.
It'd be interesting to see what he actually does in terms of that. Like you said, we have got that depth there now, whereas before it naturally just did it, didn't it? You'd have brought Edgill straight in at full-back and put him there. But now we've still got loads of different options.
It's not Saints or Wigan, is it? So I think, and that's no disrespect to Cass, is it? But,
it is.
The noisy
maybe it's a
neighbours
game
from
where
down
you
the
could
road.
just shuffle something around and try something a bit different, or bring this new signing in.
Yeah.
Apparently went well in reserves. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I want us to
Smash them.
just from off. I don't want another.
No,
scored.
Yeah.
I think, and again, I'm reading into this myself. I think home games impress Brad Arthur, and I think they mean a lot to him. They mean a lot to all coaches, of course they do. But I think last week, the Wakey game, obviously, I think he'll think, right, we need a much better performance for our home fans. You know,
we've got a problem with this, you know, and I've heard a few players say it. They all like playing. Even Barry mentioned this, didn't he? They all like playing at Headingley. They shouldn't, should they?
No.
But that's the problem when you've got a nice stadium with a nice pitch and nice facilities.
Best looking fans.
They all, it goes without saying, doesn't it? But
I didn't need to say that.
We need to get back to not losing at home.
Yeah,
at all costs. But
and I think Brad Arthur will.
It's easier said than done, isn't it? But like, I'm a bit envious of people like Hull KR, not because of where it is, but people hate playing at Hull KR, don't they?
Yeah.
And that's because it's in Hull.
Yeah. The best thing out of all is M62 back.
And that's not very good when it's shut.
So we've upset Cass fans, we've upset Salford fans.
Well, we upset Wakey fans last week. We might as well go
upset the league.
Full 11.
But you're right, though, the facilities at Headingley is most like you said, the second, especially when there's such a plethora between teams in there. You know, you got a Cass and you're falling through floors and wooden seats and this and that, then you come to Headingley and but yeah, we have got to make it. I mean, we've been beat there this year, which we can't. So as if we can make it a fortress.
For a few years, we've not had a great home record.
Like Barry said, isn't it? Yeah.
And I can remember when we used to have. We didn't get beat much.
But you're right, you don't want to be. You're looking at fixture list going, that'd be a nice week. That, you know, but Hull KR on like you said, on a cold, damp Friday night, it's not a nice place to go at best of times. But you know, it's like there's a play. Yeah, you know, you're not looking forward to it. Where we've got to try and get that back, so teams actually fear coming to Headingley.
Yeah, I agree. Predictions. Anyone want to go first to wrap things up?
I think similar to Salford game, but I think we'll get over 40. I think
49-0.
49-0. We're going to drop a goal.
Yeah.
42-12.
42-12. Phil?
I go 46-6.
46-6. I think we're going to break 50.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think if we cut loose, I think we will.
I think we'll absolutely destroy them.
Really?
Yeah. My only... But the only thing I'm thinking on is, will they score?
I think they will, because I think
they'll score.
I think that Rooney will score. Yeah. And I think they've got some big Papua New Guineans, haven't they? I could just see one of them having a break too.
Late consolation.
I think they will score, but only one. I don't think they'll get more.
I just want them to keep that, because his defence was absolutely brilliant after that first 10 minutes.
I think that was a good try.
He ran a good line, Watkins.
He did, but Bentley should have done better.
Yeah.
He should have a bit more.
It was just when it started, I was watching it at home because I'd just come back in and I was just like, Oh God, here we go again.
I had my head in my hands.
First 2 minutes, and we just like.
It was a great kick for the flag.
Shall I leave now so I get out of car park?
How many years has Sneed been doing that? We didn't switch onto that, did we? You know,
that was all the time.
I don't know whether there's much you could have done against them.
No, you can't. That's what I mean.
Really. Second and third.
Pinpoint.
He didn't do much else, though, did he?
Never does. It's crap. It's absolutely crap. I'm going to say 58-4. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. Please do subscribe to us on YouTube. If you just search the Lot Pod, hit that subscribe button as we make our way to 1,000 subscribers. If you're listening on Spotify, please do give us a 5-star review. Follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok. Just search for the Lot Pod or Lot 17A. That's us, and give us a follow. And we'll see you all for the Castleford review. Take care.